Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to the test server where we're going to be featuring today the Iron Twins dungeon. And I'll be showcasing 3 teams that I use for the Iron Twins for any affinity and any difficulty, all right? But we're going to be showcasing the highest difficulty, and then you lower the stats for your teams depending on which difficulty you think your gear can go to. All right, the end game difficulty requires up to 700 resistance to resist the debuffs from the boss, which is insane. You'll need something like a decreased accuracy debuff or an increased resistance buff if you want to do that. We have 560 accuracy needed if you want to be landing your debuffs. So ideally you want to have maybe an accuracy aura and an accuracy up buff. And then for speed requirements, if you want to go faster than the boss, you need 250 plus speed, which is just shows on how crazy the requirements are for the stage. Difficulty 15, right? I've done all the affinities the past weekend that I've been playing on the test server. So I know that the teams work for any of them. So today is the final day before we can release the videos. And I wanted to test also the Spirit Affinity, which I didn't test, and my team's work. So I'll be showcasing an endgame team showing legendary champions with endgame gear. And I'll be showing a more feasible team with no legendary champions in there, but still the gear requirements are rough. And especially if you want to be farming it consistently with no failures, then you'll still need to have, 6-star gear at least. And ideally, your accuracy and resistance on the Great Hole maxed out. These two are the most important ones if you want to be doing any of the content that Raid is releasing from here on out. I mean, the Hydra, we saw how much requirements we had there for resistance and accuracy. And now with this dungeon and anything in the future, probably we're going to need these two maxed out already. So let's have a look at the teams. Let's see how the dungeon works. So I'll show the endgame team first. Then we'll have a look at the epic team, which I'm showing right now. Spoiler alert. And then at the end, I'll show you guys my speed run that I did. I had a recording of that one. So let's have a look at the which one of these is the, I think it's this one. This one's the end game team. I'll show all the gear in the end, but basically Geomancer is the MVP here. Brockney helps to basically survive, and this run can go really quickly, under 2 minutes, because of all the resets that Kaimar can do. I also have refresh gear on him, so this team is the ideal for endgame. This boss can hit very hard once he reaches the 40% threshold, so be very careful when you have that. Also, whenever you're doing buffs with your team, the boss gets a huge boost to the Terminator, but we don't mind because that helps with him attacking us and then reflecting the damage dealt from Geomancer. So you see there, Geomancer already did his HP burn. The boss is about 80% health, dropping now to 60. Everybody's looking fine and healthy for now, but it still can get risky. And the reason for that is that when the boss drops a little bit low. And because we are not doing the damage is doing, the boss is doing the damage on itself. It's not cleansing, all right? It's not very consistent on that because you saw right there the cleanse that happened. But it's fine because of the resets, the refresh accessories, and the I think I have reflex gear on the Geomancer. That helps a lot with making this run quick and consistent. I've had this work in every single one of the runs that I've done. It can be bad because you'll see on how much damage this boss can actually do. If he gets really angry, you saw how low we drop, but because of Bad Alcazar's heal over time, we can get to full. We've got big shields. We've got Mithrala there for cleansing, for bigger shields, for defense up. So we're quite healthy, and now the boss should kill himself very soon. HP burn, poisons, they do all the work. And look at that, 90 seconds. And we get the victory. So again, I'll show all the gear at the end of the run. That is the end game team for consistent runs. 90 seconds. I think that's very doable. My fastest run was about 60 seconds, and I did it yesterday. And it was basically fishing for RNG, which isn't something that you want to be doing, at least with the champions that I have available. I think if I had Theodore, I would have been able to build a better team, but I don't have him. I don't have stuff like a Calvalax either. So I had some teams in mind, but I didn't think those should have been the ones to use. And in terms of the AI, what I did is nothing for Mithrala, Barakazan, nothing. Geomancer, I disabled the A2 because that's not needed. Kaimar, I had disabled the A2 and had him start up with the A1 because he's fast. Not that crazy fast because my underpriest brokering is quite slow. 153 with very good health, 120,000. And I had him open up with his A3 skill and then use his A2. And then when the refresh happened, he would use his A2 again and then the A3 just in order to have the shields up for longer. And that's how the team worked. And it was quite fast, as you saw there. And then let's have a look at the All Epics team right here. This is an All Epics team that utilizes the abilities of very strong champions without the requirements of such high gear, such as 560 accuracy, a lot of resistance and all that. The resistance can help, but I'm trying it with Claude right here for this setup, but it's honestly not doing the work that we need because you need more than 700, and that's almost impossible. Only Mithrala can get that with also getting all the other stats. You really need either an increased resistance buff or a decreased accuracy from the start, and to make sure that doesn't get removed at any point, which is almost impossible to do. So I have Claude with 600 resist here for this one. Honestly, it's not needed. You'll see the debuff landing on him. It's pointless to get him to there. If you can get his speed and all the other stats, then it's fine. We've got Scathix there for block debuff buff and a cleanse and a big shield. God Security for extension of buffs. Vogoth, of course, the best healer in the game, and Geomancer again as the MVP in all PvE content. And because we have the increased accuracy from Claude right here, the increased accuracy means we can go with about 400 accuracy and still be getting boosted to about 600 with the 50% increased accuracy buff. So 400 plus 50% of that, 600 accuracy is what you need to land this. This is not a fast run. This is, I think the fastest I did was 3 minutes. All right, 3 minutes for this run. And you'll see the damage that we get. This might even fail. I've only tried it 2 runs, I think. I saw that it worked, so I said, okay, let's just start the recording because I've tried so many different epics for this one. I noticed that I need the block debuffs to survive. There's a defense down, there's attack down that is applied by this boss. It's a very nasty boss. But Scathix here is an MVP also with the speed down. All right, speed down not only changes the speed of the boss, so you can get more moves in, heal back up, but it also stops the boss from getting extra turn meter from the buffs that are applied from your team. So just have that in mind as well. So all these buffs haven't boosted the boss's turn meter, and that helps the team go for a little bit longer. So this is the All Epics team. And then I'll show you the gear, and then finally we'll talk about the speed team that I did with the 60-second run. Although yeah, it's not ideal to try and get that team going. So we're looking at a 1 minute here. It's very respectable at 70% health for the boss. Not as fast, obviously, as the one with all the legendaries, but yeah, we're surviving. As long as we're surviving, we've got the Guardian sets going. I think I've got Relentless on Scathix, Relentless on Claude, and Reflex on Geomancer. Reflex helps, is not required. If you've got Relentless, that works also, but Relentless removes buffs from yourself because you get that extra turn. Buffs duration is reduced by 1 turn, so that kind of sucks. But Godseeker Energy, I feel, is so good when you have a lot of buffers in your team because she extends the duration by 1 turn. And you see, none of my teams I used like a Sifi or a Krisk, which are the insane legendaries to get. I mean, Mithrala could have been used for this team, honestly, and that's because she is easily accessible through the Hydra. Now with the Hydra nerfed, a couple of months ago, I mean, it's much more doable than it was at the very start. So here's when it can get ugly. And you saw we managed to survive there. As long as you survive that big burst of damage, and that's because of Vogoth, all the heals, God Security helping, boosting those heals by 10% through her passive. And then as long as we apply that 1 HP burn, the boss is now gonna hit, and by hitting us, he'll die because of the way the Geomancer works. He's the only damage dealer basically. It's protect the Geomancer comp, and 3 minutes. Come on, it's so slow. It's so slow, but it works, right? It works, all epics. And I mean, the affinities here, we only have one magic. There's one spirit, two void, one force. So it's a mix up. So it shows that it can work in all different affinities and difficulties, right? And you just lower the stats, as I said, for that. I mean, the difficulty on stage 10, I think the boss has about 190 speed. So you drop everybody else's speed to about that point, and the requirements will be lower, but still it's not gonna be as low as you need, 100 accuracy or that to do stage 10. So that's it for stage 15 with the all epics team. And let's have a look at everyone's gear. So starting up with Mithrala. So Mithrala is an MVP here for the reason that she gets resistance from her accuracy. So you can build her with enough accuracy to land her debuffs plus her aura. So she's at more than 600 plus 200 resistance. She'll be resisting everything from the boss. I did have her with a regen set, but you saw she was very healthy throughout the fight. You don't really need the regen set, but I would say you need maybe HP percent on gloves and maybe defense percent on the chest piece. And of course, with good amount of speed. Every one of my champions here showcased is maxed out in terms of skill, so I won't be going through that for every one of them. I did have her with extra accuracy through Eagle Eye, which is usually used for arena as well, so it's not a bad way to use her. I even had her use a blood shield ring for that one extra buff, which gives a little bit more boost to the boss's turn meter, so I would get the boss to keep on going and attacking me more and more, so to make the run a little bit quicker. And then the next one we have I'm going through the list of all my champions. Let's have a look at Battle Khazar. Battle Khazar was built with basically accuracy, speed, and look at all those refresh accessories. I wouldn't say you need them, but they're not bad to have. 250 speed, 64,000 health, 500 accuracy, plus the 80 from the aura from Mithrala. That's how he gets to where he needs to be. And I had him with resistance. That's a mistake. I should have had him with accuracy instead. This one is for my build that I used to have for Ice Golem, but the support masteries are these. So instead of getting Unshakable, you go for Eagle Eye, and that's gonna be enough for him. I would instead not get resistance here, and this one I would go for the extra 5% damage reduction, and then extra healing from that this champion receives by 5%. So that's enough for Battle Khazar. Then next up we've got Brogni, who was very slow in this one. He's got the Giant Slayer on and some support masteries there. Didn't use Cycle of Magic, didn't want to mess up with anything there. And then artifacts, I had him with a Guardian and an Immortal set with 153 speed. I wanted him to be very, very slow. I didn't want him to go first because then all my champions would go and all the buffs would expire quicker. I wanted him to be the last one going. I knew that my champions could survive 1 or 2 hits without under Priest Brogni because of the Guardian set. And in that way, he helped. The amount of health that he has, it's because I wanted his shield to be the biggest that he possibly can do, because his shield is based on his max HP. And then we had Prince Karma just built with no accuracy basically, so I lowered his accuracy intentionally so he wouldn't land maybe the poisons that kind of messed up the runs because it procced the boss's cleanse ability. You can not even use Kymar, honestly. With this one you can maybe use Renegade or anything else just for the reset. That's what he uses. He doesn't really do anything else, so even a Renegade can work, but it's not a complete reset like what Kymar does. So have that in mind. Masteries don't really matter because those are my PvP masteries. It's just the speed, which was at 266. Then yeah, we're gonna start at the epics, and then we've got Scathix here with Relentless and Perception. It's got about 400 accuracy, which is boosted by the increased accuracy buff, 245 speed, 65,000 health, 2.8k defense. And we have these masteries with the Eagle Eye there for extra accuracy because we need to land that decreased speed, and we also need him to be tanky enough. So the Relentless set helps with his buffs, rotating through all the buffs. We have Godseeker and re-extending those, so there's a good synergy between all the buffers and the extension, and also Scathix trying to get those those attacks in with his A1, so he can apply the decreased speed, which is only at 55% chance with this mastery right here called Sniper, which gives him an extra 5% chance. So that's needed. And we have God Security, really an MVP in many teams that out there that are all epic. So wow, I didn't have a banner on her. I don't know what happened there, but maybe I was switching around gear all weekend trying to test different teams. So you see how this team worked. So I'll put that on. She does use full refresh. You don't need the full refresh. You didn't see that. Really needed to have the A2 there being refreshed for it to actually do the job that it's supposed to do. So again, Guardian plus Immortal helps her both survive and protect the team. 211 on speed, that was quite low. I could get that higher very easily. No resistance, no accuracy. The health and defense values are very doable. And then we have, of course, Geomancer, who's the MVP. Reflex here for his A3 skill. If you don't have reflex and refresh accessories, it's fine. You can use relentless even if you don't have that. Use normal perception gear or accuracy gear. Try to get to that mark. We need about 400 for the all epics team, and then 550, 520 plus for the legendary version of it. And the reason for that is because he needs it on the legendary version because he doesn't have the increased accuracy buff. You don't need all that if you've got the increased accuracy buff. And Claude really helps with the all epic team. In some teams, by the way, I did use Dark Kale, but his activation of poisons and HP burns seemed like it was taking away from the potential damage from the HP burn at least. So he's good. His A2 can extend the debuffs. You can use him for faster teams, and that's what I used for my 1 minute team. I believe it's that video. I've recorded so many runs. So just showcasing the gear just in case. 45,000 health, 100% crits, so he extends the duration of debuffs. 254 speed, 581 accuracy. Those are crazy stats, but that's for my fast team, which I'll show you guys before I close off the video. And of course the normal support masteries for him. And then we have the one and only Claude, which I maxed out for this one. And I was surprised on how good he is. His resistance is at 600. Honestly, if you saw the video, because of the block debuffs buff, he doesn't need it there. You can try and get his other stats higher, so his speed, his health, his defense higher, and not go for the resistance. And I think this will still work. And instead of going for the extra resistance here, you can go for Bulwark to help protect your other team members instead. He doesn't need any of the accuracy ones. Because the debuffs that he applied, decreased critical rate, is not really that great, and it wouldn't affect your team at all. So go no resistance, no accuracy, go for the other stats. Try and get him with relentless. It really helps with the big shields and also the buffs, because you saw how much they're needed. And then I think finally we have Vogoth, one of my Vogoths at least. Guardian and Immortal, very similar to other champions that I showcased before on how he is built. 86,000 health, 2.6k defense, 220 speed. Nothing too crazy there, I would say, in terms of speed, but the other stats may be difficult for you. You see that I have blue pieces, they're rare pieces. This one doesn't need to be maxed out, by the way. Even his passive doesn't do anything here, but I do have him just because I had him maxed out. And I do have Bulwark with him to help his team survive a little bit more and decrease the damage your allies receive. This champion will receive the damage instead. An extra bit of healing, by the way, also with Lay on Hands. And that's for Voga. I think that is all. In terms of epic champions, I don't think I missed anybody. Yeah, I don't think I missed anybody. So these were the teams, guys. The Endgame team and the all epics team for stage 15 of the Iron Fortress. You'll see the difficulty yourselves when you get into the actual fights with your own champions, but I have these videos out just to help you guys out. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing, as I said. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the 1 minute run that I did. That was after a lot of attempts, and it's not really worth it. And I know for sure there's faster teams out there, but I might not have the champions for those just yet. So see ya, guys. So the start runs here with Dark Hell in the team, and you'll see that the HP burn is is crucial to be there when the boss does his big AoE attacks. So whenever he does those big attacks, he goes through the thresholds and he doesn't do the cleanse. So if he goes through the threshold with the poisons or the HP burn tick, then he will cleanse all the debuffs from him. But if he does go through the threshold because of the procs through HP burn, deflection, because of Geomancer, that he doesn't do the cleanse, and that's how the run could be potentially much quicker. But it's very difficult to control on the way that the procs work, because it's RNG on when you get those War Master procs from Geomancer. So that's why I said it's through multiple runs, and RNG is king really in making this run go way quicker. And you see here on how low the boss drops at 50 seconds, and then the rest 10 seconds, the final 10 seconds are just me watching the boss like, oh my god, I could have had this run way quicker. But it is what it is. So that was the run, guys. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.